Good morning on this Monday. We're having a Monday Muse on the spring equinox because, let's face it, it has happened. We are now in another season. And it's quite apparent, at least here in Scotland, that it's been a little bit early. Couldn't wait to come out to play. The enthusiasm could be infectious. That's an infection that's quite welcome. An infection for new life, new beginnings. Not old stuff rehashed, new stuff. A new look at how things are going, a new opening of a bud to the sun. A new generation of being and doing and thinking. Spiritually, it's energetically changing too. Each season has its own energy, and you can actually, if you connect, you can actually feel and hear the hum, the buzz of things growing and changing. Most of us are quite dissociated from that idea and from the actual understanding that plant life has spirit and energy too. We think that we're alone on the planet as far as sentience is concerned, when actually every creature that lives, and some that don't as far as we are concerned, have energy and spirit. If you don't think this is so, ask anyone who works with crystals. They'll tell you there's an energy and life and vibrancy to each one that's different from the other. For some of you, this will be a step too far. That's okay. For others, you're going to get that right away. So map it over. Just suspend your disbelief, those of you who can't quite get there yet, that there might be an energetic flow that goes on. And that at the moment, if we were to look at a flow line of energy, at the moment, instead of doing this, for most of us, it's doing this. Because we're not in flow. We're looking at all this new life burgeoning out in front of us. The trees are getting little green buds on them. Soon there's going to be things flowering all over the place. We already have the crocuses and the daffodils. We can see them. Are we enjoying them? Are we looking at them and saying, that's it, spring is here. New life is beginning. This is a time of joy and appreciation. This is a time to go out and say to the sun, hello, where have you been? We've missed you. You visited rarely and were usually covered in clouds and rain. We know that you shone somewhere, even if it was just in our heads or in our hearts. You were there, but now we see you. You're peeping out again, about to be resplendent in the sky, warming the earth and allowing the seeds and the plants and the trees to actually grow and flourish and show themselves resplendent in their new growth, in their new clothes. Waxing lyrical? Just a bit. But it's, amusing. We have an opportunity to do this every day. We have an opportunity to get up in the morning and raise our faces to the skies and say, hello. It's good to see you again. I'm rested and I'm so grateful for the rest. But now, today is a new beginning. Today, I can start to bloom. I can look at the seeds I've planted and nurture them and water them and look after them and see just how well they're growing. And if I need to, I can give them a little boost with some energy. There are a lot of people who do that, you know. I am one of them. I maybe don't do it as much as I should, but it doesn't matter, because it's the fact that we do it. It's the fact that we appreciate and have gratitude for where we are and how we are. A friend of mine, Al, did a TV thing the other day, and he was saying, you are where you should be, but maybe not where you want to be. And that's got a lot to do with culturing and nurturing the seeds that we've planted. How do we get to where we want to be if we are where we should be? Of course, what it takes is germination. It takes that right soil, the right light, the right amount of moisture, the Goldilocks situation for us to actually step into our own resplendent growth phase. It takes not the nostalgia of the past. We're very good as human beings of being nostalgic, particularly in the West. I have very few instances of understanding of the Asian continents and African continents thinkings on nostalgia. From the Buddhists that I know, the detachment means that nostalgia really isn't in play. They are very much in the moment. Yesterday is gone and done. Today is where we make the changes. Today is what we do that will harmonise ourselves with the world. That takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of commitment. And perhaps that's why we are not quite so able to detach from our pasts, from our issues, from our baths of custard, that we know that it's icky and it's horrible, but we still want to be there because it's familiar territory. We know what it is. There are no surprises there. We're in it. But if we go out of it, we don't know what's over there. So a lot of us will stay and choose to stay in this space. So it's called comfort, really, to think of new normals, when perhaps we should be thinking about new beginnings. Leave the normal in the past. I wrote this morning about how we were in a BC situation before COVID. We're looking at life before COVID and thinking of it as how we want to be there. But we can't be there. We can't go back. We must continue to go forward, or we will stop. Yes, we will stop. If we backpedal and try to keep things the way that they were, then all this idea of progress that we keep hearing about, it's not going to happen. As Einstein said, and I have said it before, you cannot solve today's problems with yesterday's solutions. We have to be more innovative than that. Each year we have the hair boxing, and it's only relatively recently that we've discovered that it's not the males who are boxing, it's the females. kind of can change the dynamic of how we see things in some ways. Oh, but we don't like change. Oh, no, change, no. We've just experienced a change. We're going to experience another one quite shortly. And another, and another, and another. It happens seasonally every year of our lives. The first change was when an egg became fertilized. When cells started to split and to make new cells inside. When we got chromosomes. When we understood which gender we were going to be physically. When we were born. That was a big change. Not just for us, but for the person who bore us and the person who fathered us, in some cases. There's a lot to life, there's a lot to living. But the one thing that we cannot do is look back with the rose-coloured spectacles of nostalgia and say how life was wonderful before COVID, how life was just so good that we need to get back to that. No. What we need to do is we need to find a balance. We need to find our feet. We need to get our footing back on track. We need to find a space to put our feet and then walk the path from there. And the way to do that is to actually make your path happen. Allow those seeds that we spoke about last week, the potential of what you can do, who you can be. Let it grow, nurture it, look after it, make sure the soil's right, feed it. And then go forward and find instead of where you should be, because actually we are where we should be. Let's get to where we want to be. Going forward now. Into a space where we can grow in respect and harmony and balance, joy, peace. That's where we should be looking. Perhaps if we all try very hard to think about going forward instead of remaining with at least one foot and half our bodies and minds in the past, then we can get this garden flourishing and making it a joy to behold. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day.